Ugur Haloglu's YouTube channel is a peaceful retreat for many, a quiet space filled with detailed camping footage, serene nature, and heartfelt family moments. Alongside his wife Seysan, Ugur has spent over a decade exploring the outdoors, embracing the stillness of remote forests, and the simplicity of sleeping under the stars. Their videos are less about thrill and more about tranquility, until this trip when everything changed. It began like countless others, slow, intentional, grounded in nature. They had found a beautiful, secluded clearing, far off any known trail, deep within the wilderness. Just a modest tree line, a soft, open sky, and their reliable off-road camper van, the kind of spot perfect for disconnecting from the world. As evening settled in, everything seemed as it should be. The fire crackled softly, the aroma of grilled vegetables mixed with the earthy scent of pine. Ugur and Seysan moved in rhythm, preparing dinner, swatting at mosquitoes, and laughing quietly beneath a sky slowly fading into darkness. These were the moments they lived for, just the two of them. Free from the distractions of everyday life, peaceful, familiar. But as night took full hold of the forest, that familiar calm began to fray.
Of. Acı biber.
Sana mı denk geldi? Uğur bir şey.
Kaç.
Uğur aç kapıyı.
Geç karına.
Geç. Duydun değil mi?
Duydumdur.
While adjusting their mosquito netting, deep in conversation and half distracted, a sudden sound shattered the quiet. No warning, no build-up, just a sharp, jarring crack, loud and close, like it had come from just beyond the trees behind them. Seysan jumped. Ugur froze. Instinct took over. Within seconds, the couple had dropped everything and rushed into their camper van. The laughter from moments before was gone, replaced with urgency, adrenaline, and questions. Inside, silence pressed against the windows like fog. They sat in the dim light, straining their ears, waiting, hearts pounding. Whatever had made that noise had gone completely silent. No footsteps, no breathing, no rustling branches, just stillness.
Uğur çok korkuyorum.
Kimsin?
Uğur uzaklaşma.
Ses ver.
Uğur lütfen içeri gel.
Tamam toplayayım şuraya da geleyim aşkım.
Yaklaşıyor gibi Uğur.
Yok aşkım be. Kaçtı o. Neyse.
It could have been a wild animal, they reasoned. A bear, maybe. But the noise didn't sound like something crashing through the woods. It sounded deliberate, placed, present. Still locked inside, they whispered guesses to each other, trying to rationalize the fear away. But neither of them truly believed it was nothing. The outside world no longer felt wild. It felt aware, like something was holding its ground just outside the ring of firelight, watching, waiting. Hours passed. The rain came lightly, tapping against the roof, mingling with the distant wind. But whatever had startled them never returned. No second noise, no explanation, just the weight of that one sound and the way it shifted the entire night. They didn't sleep much, and when morning arrived, gray, wet, and heavy, it felt more like a truce than a relief. They never figured out what made the sound. Maybe it was just an animal, maybe someone passing quietly through the trees, or maybe something else entirely, something that didn't want to be seen. What do you think? Was it just coincidence, or something deeper in the woods of North Georgia? Let us know in the comments. What's up, Silent Nightmare family? I have something huge to share with you today. We just crossed an incredible milestone, 50,000 subscribers. But now it's time to set our sights even higher. If we hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of September, 10 lucky subscribers will each receive a $50 gift card. You can choose any gift cards. That's $500 in total prizes as a thank you to this amazing community. It's super easy to enter. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, comment below with your favorite Silent Nightmare video or your scariest camping story. That's it. Let's hit 100K together and celebrate the only way we know how, with a massive giveaway. This video comes from the YouTube channel Mighty Mouse, where Michael shares his passion for outdoor adventures, hiking, and fitness, hoping to inspire others to lead an active, healthy lifestyle. Over the past 3 years, he's cultivated a small but loyal community drawn to his positive energy and breathtaking explorations. In this particular video, Michael sets off on a winter camping trip deep into the forest, accompanied by his newest companion, an energetic puppy named Belle. It's December 20th, 2024. The weather is crisp, the forest serene, and Michael is eager to unwind in nature's quiet embrace. Upon arrival, he finds what seems like the perfect spot to set up camp.
I'll really go that much in, but I'm hoping that there's water. If there's not water, we may have to go all the way down. But my pack is definitely pretty heavy right now. I think everything still pretty well on there. Yeah. But a lot of that is food and junk that I can dispose of in the fire while I'm out here. Come on. Alright, so I found my camp. We had to come down a good bit. There's usually water running down through that. I might be able to run off and find somewhere in there, but I'm gonna set up, I think, between this tree and maybe that one there. Fire pit made. The cod in there. Gotta lay some stuff out. Belle's eating. We need to try to drink the rest of the water and go get the rest, but she spilled some of her water, so she must not want it too bad.
As the sun begins its slow descent, Michael gets to work pitching his shelter and preparing for what he expects to be a peaceful night under the stars. Belle plays nearby, chasing shadows and sniffing the cold air. Everything feels calm, too calm. But as dusk turns to night, the atmosphere subtly shifts. The forest, once tranquil, begins to stir.
Weird, maybe, I don't know. Is your nail okay? Definitely hear some animals like coyotes or something. I'm not sure what that's about. I think she's definitely kind of like anxious or scared now that it's dark. I don't know how well you guys can see that. But yeah, just some smoky burger seasoning, you know? Got some buns. Where are those?
In the distance, Michael hears the haunting cry of a coyote echoing through the trees. It sounds far off, nothing to worry about, he tells himself. Still, a flicker of unease begins to grow. He focuses on dinner, comforted by the glow of the fire and the company of Belle. But the howls persist, each one a little louder, a little closer. The forest seems to press in tighter around him. He tries to ignore it, dismissing the sounds as natural and harmless. After all, coyotes rarely pose a threat to humans. But then, the howling multiplies.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like it's safe to say they're pretty close.
A pack has gathered nearby, their cries bouncing off the trees in a chilling chorus. Michael's heart races. He grips his flashlight, its narrow beam barely piercing the dark woods beyond his campsite. He knows leaving now, in total darkness, would be foolish. But staying put feels equally dangerous. Belle senses it too, ears perked, body tense. Michael decides to stay, hoping the fire will be enough to deter any curious predators.
So I'm just over here. I'm setting up camp. Setting up my bed, really. And this is Lenny's sleeping bag. Oh no, bro.
He keeps a close watch, eyes scanning the shadows, ears tuned to every crack of a twig. Hours pass in tense silence. The howls come and go, closer, then further, then closer again. Each one gnaws at his nerves. At one point, everything goes completely quiet. Too quiet. Michael feels eyes on him, unseen, unblinking, but nothing emerges from the darkness. Eventually, the howls fade, and the forest settles back into stillness. The coyotes never come into view, but their presence hangs heavy in the air. Michael doesn't sleep that night. When the first light of dawn cuts through the trees, he's already packing up. Exhausted but relieved, he and Belle make their way out of the woods. What started as a peaceful winter escape turned into a night of raw survival instinct. It was a chilling reminder. In nature, serenity and danger often share the same silence. And sometimes, the scariest encounters are the ones that never fully reveal themselves. This video comes from the YouTube channel Roaming Reckless, a channel built not on aesthetics or filtered adventures, but on truth. Here, solo camping isn't romanticized. It's real, unfiltered, often uncomfortable, and sometimes deeply unsettling. In this episode, Maria sets off for what she hopes will be a quiet night of car camping with her loyal dog, Tazzy, deep in the North Georgia mountains. But what starts as an ordinary escape into the wild quickly spirals into something much more volatile. A raw confrontation with nature, the kind that leaves its mark. Even before reaching the trailhead, Maria's trip was off to a rough start. No rain gear, no backup plan, a growing storm looming on the radar. But thanks to a last-minute detour and a generous REI gift card, she manages to scrape together just enough supplies to push forward. Determined not to turn back, she heads into the misty forest, far from crowds, far from safety, and deep into Bigfoot country.
Looks like a good enough spot to me. There's a fire pit right here, so obviously people have camped at this pull-off. Spooky, middle of the woods. I'm just gonna back the Grenadier in. Obviously, safety purposes. Leveling out.
Rain begins to fall in sheets as Maria eases the Grenadier into a narrow, slanted pull-off, barely wide enough to fit the vehicle. A lonely, cold fire pit greets her, proof that someone else had camped here before. But tonight felt different. The air was thick with tension. The silence had weight to it, and the storm hadn't even arrived yet.
That's my girl. Look at you. I'm really glad that we are gonna have like an hour or two of light rain, because sometimes you have to camp in bad weather, right? Like right now I can't avoid these thunderstorms. I can't get out of it, but it's nice when your dog doesn't have to be stuck in the truck. Yeah, because you need to stretch your legs. It's your God-given right. I'm gonna leave this stuff out because I might make coffee later. Yes, I know. Coffee before bed. You shouldn't do that. But I do have work to do tonight, so why not? Get out of the rain, kiddo. Yeah. I downloaded a few episodes from documentaries, docuseries talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch. You get it? I'm really excited to get into them. I cannot get over how much evidence they had at Expedition Bigfoot, which you could argue that it's not real, or you could argue that it's fabricated or whatever. You could argue that, or you could believe in it. I just don't understand, if there's been lore for thousands of years, sightings for thousands of years, how it could not be real. Call me crazy. Anyways, I'm excited to watch more about it and really dive into it while we're in the territory. I keep waiting for...
Tazzy runs nervous laps through the wet brush, picking up on something Maria can't quite name. Maria tries to stay positive, cracking a smile and setting up camp, but the thunder creeping closer makes it harder with every passing minute. Rain soaks her sleeves. Visibility drops to a few feet. The forest begins to close in, fog curling around the trees like smoke. With the storm building overhead, Maria and Tazzy step out for one final walk.
In the area, and a lot of them have been repeat. They come around a lot, so. A huge thunderstorm is also on its way, so we are in for a night. Is that gonna be a good or a bad night? Who knows? I love you so much. Yeah. I love you so much. You're gonna do such a good job. It's gonna be such a good night. You're gonna be so brave. It's for you, kiddo. It's so eerie outside. Oh my gosh, talk about the creepiest campsite ever. You guys, how creepy is this? I don't want to go home here, but I have to. This is scary.
It's a moment of cautious defiance, a need to confront the fear head on. But stepping into that fog feels like walking into another world. Her flashlight barely touches the darkness. Shadows shift behind every branch. Even Tazzy, normally fearless, walks slowly, ears alert. Then the storm hits. loud, violent, and unrelenting. By midnight, Maria is curled in blankets, soaked to the bone, watching a downloaded documentary on Bigfoot, an ironic distraction given her location. But it's hard to focus. Branches crack above the car, wind rattles the windows, every gust feels like a threat. Tazzy shakes beside her, tucked into her thunder shirt, eyes wide. Sleep becomes impossible. By 3 a.m., the worst of the storm begins to pass. The thunder fades into the distance. The rain, while still steady, no longer lashes the car. Tazzy finally settles. Maria doesn't. She lies still, listening, alert, awake.
Good job, Mama. All right, come on. Up here. That was like a horror video game. That's what that felt like. Oh my gosh. I'm like triple check we're locked in. That was so creepy.
It's curious because I not describe the same thing.
Because sometimes you don't need footsteps outside your tent to feel haunted. Sometimes the storm is enough. Morning brings no relief, just a pale gray light filtering through low clouds. The forest is drenched. Everything is slick and dripping. But Tazzy is already trotting through the wet leaves, the horrors of the night before, forgotten in an instant. Maria steps out slowly, coffee in hand, scanning the ridgeline. The silence is back, but this time it feels different. Like the storm didn't just pass through, it took something with it. Some trips don't give you the story you expected. No creature sightings, no strange figures in the dark. Just you, a dog, and a forest that reminds you exactly how small you are. For Maria, this trip wasn't about legends or Bigfoot. It was about being alone in the wild and surviving the weight of it. This video comes from the Spanish-speaking YouTube channel Otter Hernandez, where Otter shares a wide range of content. But he's best known for venturing into terrifying places most people wouldn't even dare to approach. In this particular clip, Otter and a group of friends embark on an overnight exploration of a place shrouded in dark legend. A cave ominously known as La Cueva del Diablo, the Devil's Cave. The cave has earned its chilling reputation from years of disturbing rumors, stories of satanic rituals and unexplained phenomena whispered among locals. The group anticipated a creepy night, of course, but nothing could have prepared them for the true horror that awaited. It's February 12th, 2023. The group sets off under the cover of night, hiking through dense forest to reach the remote cave. Spirits are high, their flashlights bouncing through the trees as laughter occasionally breaks the tension. But that light-hearted mood vanishes the moment they arrive. As they step into the mouth of the cave, the atmosphere turns oppressive, like the air itself is thicker, heavier. A foul stench of decay lingers, making some of them gag. But what truly rattles them is what they find inside.
Oye, yo lo que no veo es la veladora que se veía desde arriba, desde abajo, perdón. ¿La viste tú? Yo no la vi, güey. ¡Ah, la verga! Se empiezan a escuchar ruido. Mi gente hermosa. Pues miren, aquí está la entrada de la cueva del diablo. Ahí viene la flota. No sé qué se vaya a grabar allá adentro. Pero la cosa es que cállense. Vean, mi gente, vean. A la verga, hay un altar, pa. Hay un altar. Vean nomás. A la verga, güey. Mira, ropa, güey, veladora. Ay, Dios mío. A la verga.
A crude altar marked with strange symbols and positioned beside a statue resembling a horned figure. It looks eerily devilish. The group exchanges uneasy glances. The thrill of adventure quickly fades into regret. Disturbed, they step back outside to get some fresh air. But that's when their nightmare truly begins.
Vamos a empezar a bajar, güey, poquito a poquito. Vamos a bajar poquito a poquito. Mi gente, la neta, lo que se vio allá adentro. Verga. Está cabrón. Oye. ¿Oíste? Güey, ya fue adentro. ¿Fue adentro? Verga, mi gente. No mames, se oyó aquí en corto, güey. Sí fue allá adentro, Oh, chingas a tu madre, güey. No sé. A la verga, vete a la verga. ¿Qué pendejo? Quítate. ¿Qué fue? Quítate. No mames. Cuidado, güey, cuidado. Cuidado.
As they carefully make their way down a nearby slope, someone spots it. A dark, motionless figure is standing silently in a rocky hollow just ahead. At first, they question whether it's a shadow, until the realization sets in, it's not. Paralyzed with fear for a moment, the group quickly bolts, stumbling down the hillside in a frantic attempt to escape. But the terror doesn't end there. As they try to find their way out of the forest, another figure appears, this one emerging from the darkness just off the trail.
Vénganse para acá, coño. Loco, el güero, ¿qué pedo, güero? Está allá, a la verga. Aguanta, loco, este vato nunca va rápido, güey. Pollo bobo también ya no quiere nada. Ay, mira, ya se me está alejando más. Güero, espérate, papi. Verga. No puedo, güey. A ver si ya no puedo, güey. Oye, el tecolote otra vez. El tecolote. No mames. Güero, ¿dónde vas? ¿Qué pedo? No mames. ¡Ah, la verga! ¡No mames, güey! ¡No mames, madre, güey! ¡Acá se está mamada, güey! ¡Vete a la verga! Espérate, súbase. ¡No mames, pendejo! ¡Verga, me tropecé! ¡Ah, se tocó, verga! ¡Verga, me pegué un vergazo en la mano! ¡Puta madre, qué cura! ¿Sí lo viste?
And then, without warning, a third figure eerily similar to the others suddenly materializes near the bushes, watching from the shadows. Completely on edge and already exhausted, the group begins to panic. One member becomes lightheaded, barely able to keep up, overwhelmed by the mounting fear and adrenaline. But stopping isn't an option.
Oye, güero, güerito. La volada se siente hasta el cambio de temperatura, cabrón. No mames, cómo me sacó el
sí,
zapato,
cuando
güey.
se estaba poniendo así me estaba yo empezando a sentir.
Ya está, Ángel, ya está él.
Whatever is out there seems to be following them, watching, waiting. Every crunch of leaves and snap of a twig sounds like a threat. After what feels like hours of running through the cold, haunted woods, they finally emerge back onto a trailhead and make it to their vehicles. Hearts pounding, hands trembling, they don't look back. The only thing on their minds is getting as far away from the Devil's Cave as possible. Though they escaped without injury, the emotional scars run deep. The chilling images of what they saw and what they felt linger long after. For Otter and his friends, the Devil's Cave wasn't just another creepy exploration. It was a nightmare they'll never forget. This is Dan, an adventurer, thrill seeker, and the face behind the YouTube channel Cursed Urban, where he explores some of the most eerie and spine-chilling locations across the United States. From decaying asylums to haunted forests, Dan has a fearless curiosity that pushes him into places most would never dare to step foot in. In this particular video, Dan embarks on a solo winter camping trip deep within a forest shrouded in dark legends. The area is infamous for reported sightings of cryptic creatures like skinwalkers and shadowy spirits, with many locals believing these woods are cursed, scarred by demonic cult rituals that allegedly took place here in the 1980s. The forest's disturbing history and supernatural reputation make it irresistible for someone like Dan. It's January 10th, 2025. The temperatures are freezing, the ground covered in snow, but Dan is undeterred. He arrives at his chosen location just as night begins to fall. Rather than attempt to build a fire in the snow, he quickly pitches his tent and sets up a portable heater for warmth. With the basics taken care of, he gets to work. Armed with a spirit talker, Dan begins his paranormal investigation, hoping to capture some form of communication from whatever may linger in these cursed woods. At first, the forest feels still, the air heavy but calm. For a while, there's nothing, just the crackle of snow beneath his boots and the soft hum of his gear. But then, the silence breaks.
Another creature called the Mimic. Do you know if the Mimic...
forward.
Walk forward. I'm not leaving my tent. I can't walk. I cannot walk forward currently. It is not possible.
after. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this session with you right now. If you'd like to speak with me in a little bit, maybe we can try something else that might be a little bit easier, or that you might like more to communicate with. Dude, that was like a bust. That was like a bust. We got nothing on Spirit Talker. Usually it's quiet during the day and very active at night. But, like, it sounded like something was right by my tent. Keep in mind, like, it's not unusual to have, like, wildlife and stuff out here.
A sharp snap, like a branch being crushed underfoot, echoes from deep within the trees. Dan freezes. He listens, but hears nothing more. He tells himself it's probably just wildlife, yet moments later, it happens again.
And, take it from there.
Another loud crack pierces the night. Dan grabs his flashlight and sweeps the beam across the surrounding forest. Nothing. No eyes, no animals, no movement, just shadows and trees. Trying to stay rational, he reminds himself that animals can easily make such sounds. But deep down, he knows something feels off.
What the is holy sound? I've never heard anything like that before. What was that noise? Was that even an animal? What was that? I'm trying to think of what that could be. Like, we don't have animals here that make that type of noise.
There's a tension in the air now, something he can't explain, a presence. He gives the Spirit Talker another try, when suddenly a low, distant howling cuts through the night. It's not a coyote. It's not a wolf. It's something else entirely, eerie, almost distorted. Dan stands frozen, the sound reverberating through the forest, sending a chill down his spine. He briefly considers leaving, but it's already late, and hiking out alone in the dark would be a risk in itself.
So I'm going to calm down, because I don't know how to put it in words how I'm feeling right now. So I'm going to calm down. I'm going to answer some texts, then you get back to some snaps. Then we'll go to bed. So, I have listened, and I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. And I haven't been against this idea ever, just to make that perfectly clear. But I'm very happy I've done this. Everybody says, Dan, make sure you bring a means to protect yourself with. So I made sure to do that tonight, just in case.
Stealing his nerves, he decides to stay. He readies his tent, keeps a weapon within reach, and sets up a night vision camera to record as he tries to rest. The forest remains quiet for a while,